if my people who are called by my name, God is very clear. His family reunion wedding feast is only for the VIP, the invited VIP faithful servants in his family. Right? So human beings are not a part of God's family. That's first and foremost. So if you've been programmed to identify with a human being, it's to reverse engineer that program. God did not create humans. The divine image of God. Humans play sports. Humans are the sacrificial athlete in the Olympic Games. Gladiators are the human guinea pigs. When you fall from God's grace, then the enemy of God has always been able to devour the children who no longer have the force-filled blessing of dwelling in the secret place under the wings of the Most High. Psalms 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place shall abide under the shadow of the wings of the Almighty. And then David said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Because David had placed himself in the secret place under the wings. And then he came back in Psalms 91. He said, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, 1,000 humans, 1,000 ignorant fallen. Devolution is where you become demon possessed and led by devils. Devolution. It's not evolution. You're leaving the D off of the devils. So when they get Athens, Greece was the greatest place in the Roman world where they showcased. So they had smaller little Olympic games all over the world. But Athens, Greece was the headquarters. That's where you get athlete from. And then the highest point where they stopped using professional athletes, professional slaves. Do you know that people were raised all their lives as captured slaves of Greece and Rome, and they were trained to fight so that they could die as gladiators? That is the Olympic Games. It is called a human zoo. Athens, Greece was the headquarters of the world of where people were raised in slavery. When the Romans went and fought battles or whatever, they would bring people, they would bring the captured people back, and some people were assigned to be gladiators and die as gladiators. And when they had children in bondage, their children were raised as gladiators to die in the human zoo Olympic Games circus. And they're called athletes in Athens. And the god that they're sacrificed to is Jupiter and Nike. Jupiter and Nike. Caesar received the worship under those two titles. As a man, Jupiter, God on earth, and as a woman, the same Caesar received the worship as Nike, as a drag queen during the Olympic Games. And all of the slaves who were athletes in Athens, Greece, your whole life, your children's life, Only a slave would train for 4 years to go to an Olympic Games. Only a slave would play football and basketball from the time you're 6 and be the best in the world and get not a dime. Then go into their gladiator schools called the NCAA, college plantation, which is the auction block where the slave masters of the NFL and the NBA come and choose their slave gladiators. You got to have an auction block. And high school is just training. No, you don't get paid. You don't get paid. You are the property of your future slave owner. And you're going to die a slave. And after we break you up, break your ACL, tear your Achilles, break your neck, we're going to throw you away because we got thousands of other niggas in the pipeline groomed to take your spot. We don't care what happens to you. Only ignorant slaves. Only ignorant slaves who have been trained and indoctrinated and programmed. $12 trillion a year annually comes out of the sports. $12 trillion a year annually. Nike, Adidas, Puma, the NFL, the NBA, London Fashion Week, Tokyo, Japan Fashion Week. All from Michael Jordan, the NFL, the Olympics. They take you black slave niggas all over the world. And people all over the world who can't compete with you, they dream about. But they get the pride. Their nations get to have the wealth. They get to run fake little amateur NBA in Turkey, all over. They got fake amateur leagues. And they bring the best of the best of they fake. The U.S. is the new Athens. The U.S. is the new Athens. And the African American is the choice slave gladiator. Everybody else plays for fun. And y'all let these Greek niggas, the whole time training over there, them niggas taking steroids. The whole time, all of them niggas, because they can't compete. Them niggas taking steroids, and then they bring the niggas from France over here. They bring these niggas from Africa over here. They bring these niggas from Turkey over here. They bring these niggas from Australia and from Germany and from all of these niggas. They playing for keeps. Their parents own Germany. Their parents own the slave systems over there. And they whole life, they dreamed of being Michael Jordan. They dreamed, listen, they use y'all. They use the gladiators to make little girls and boys come to the circus and want to be a slave in the system. Nigga, we on daily bread, nigga. We on daily bread. Anytime you best in the world, and I'm gonna prove to you that y'all black African Americans are the only niggas in the world that they do this to. And even in the United States of America, in the European sports, the sports that the Europeans can play, that we don't care about. In the same nation where they make you in football and basketball and track and field play for nothing, for free. Play for an education. Nigga, God said, give us this day our daily bread. How you let them tell you your daily bread is education from ignorant fools who hate you. You got little Chinese niggas named Michelle Wee who's playing golf at 15, 16 on the pro golf tour. But because we don't care nothing about golf, little niggas could turn pro at 14, 15. All you got, if you have the skills to play on a professional level, and if it's a European sport, no matter what your color is, you could turn pro and get paid daily bread. But in the sports that can't nobody else play, without performance enhancing drugs, without steroids, but because they idolize the fact, they envy, they jealousy, they want to do the things that they cannot do. So then they rig the system to where you can't get no bread out of that system. Why? Because if our people got daily bread out of that, no European, nobody except the people who dominate would play. And the European niggas around the world would never be able to play football and basketball. Never would have been able to play baseball. We walked away from baseball, nigga. Japan can have baseball. South America can have baseball. We walk away from soccer. The British can have soccer, nigga. We on full contact. Y'all soft. Soccer is soft. We full contact. Mano y mano. Why full contact? Because the Europeans said survival of the fittest. They said strongest. They said only strong survive. Said let's okay, full contact then, nigga. You can't do. You said you superior. You said only the strong survive. All right, full contact then. I'm gonna put on these pads and I'm gonna hit you like I will take your life. Because you've been taking our lives talking about you superior. Full contact, nigga. Matter of fact, no referees. In our cities and neighborhoods, the reason a European can't reproduce football and basketball because we don't have no refs. And when we play full contact, we play this. We play. Listen, y'all can't reproduce the full contact that we do. That's why y'all men is soft. That's why they don't want us. They don't want you to see us. That's why they pick your little soft, docile sons, your little effeminate sons, and put pads on them. They do not want to see. In no way, shape, or form have you ever seen. In the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, they wasn't filming on the parks when we was breaking niggas up who want to talk about they want to play football. All right. Everybody in the neighborhood knew where the football was. And if you stepped on that field, ain't no referees out here. Ain't nobody throwing no flags. I'm going to hit you however I hit you. And if you want to keep playing, you're going to keep playing. If you ain't man enough to keep coming back, you ain't never going to come back. Everybody knew. White blood sons who was scared to step on the field with us could have a place. All they did was turn on the cameras. All they did was monetize it. All it was we doing. Y'all don't know that we use football to train for the Battle of Armageddon, nigga. We ain't monetizing when it's paid, when the judgment place. On the battlefield. Nigga, I talk about the WBA and the WBA. Nigga, we stood on the blocks of our neighborhoods, nigga, and we squared up all day, every day. around the neighborhood, we play knockout for fun. What does that mean? If we play knockout, then there's a group of niggas down the street that's playing knockout too. No, y'all have manhood, y'all. You don't have manhood. The 60s and the 50s. And as more and more y'all men lowered the bar and the standard. Listen, yo, the black family in the United States is out old-fashioned. The black, what they saying is the only people in the world with men who are supernatural. When the black church cries about, you got pastors who are closeted sodomites complaining about the men who stopped coming. Listen, men don't even go to the Christian church, nigga. Men don't go to the Christian church. The same place, the same time when we created hip hop, we bypassed all the shrines. Muslims go in the shrines. Man, there's just as many closeted homosexuals in Islam. Play with it. Play with it. Islam is identical to the black church and Christianity. They got them shrines in the mosque where only men go in there, and they do the same thing that the Roman Catholics do, that the Christians do. Y'all can play with it if y'all want to. The Buddhists in India, all of they wise men, they talk about holy men, blah, blah. These niggas got a whole nother set of prostitutes. So the holy men, they all, listen, man, it's modeled after the Roman Catholic priests and nuns. The prostitutes are the women that they keep in a whole nother shrine. And the whole nation, they sell their daughters into prostitution to a specific shrine. And then the holy men, they go over there and front like they holy all throughout India. They fronting like they Hindus and they Buddhists, and they front like they live pious lives. And then when the people sell their daughters, they call devadasis, child brides, child prostitution. That is the concubines of the holy men. The Hindu holy men. When all of the people at nighttime, the Hindu holy men go over to the devadasi child brides. And they got a price that the peasants, when you deliver your child to the temple, they pay like $36. These niggas is starving. They starve the whole nation. They keep the nation in poverty. This is India. This is India. Their religious system is the Roman Catholic, Dark Age Catholic Church. Wrapped in a Hindu god, it's the Roman Catholic Church. They keep the whole nation in poverty. So the parents like, we can't feed this nigga. We about to die from starvation. If we go and sell her to be a child bride, we can at least get $36 and go buy some food. Yes, Mahatma Gandhi. Yes, Mahatma Gandhi was a fascist bigot on behalf of Great Britain's caste system. And he believed black people in India were untouchable. What does that mean? The people that are on his economic level. He fought for freedom for the people in his caste. So Donald Trump and them niggas. So the founding fathers of the United States of America said the same thing. People of color are 3/5 of a human being. They said women and children. So then they had to go back, create the United Nations, and say they gave women's liberation. So now the white men and the white women are liberated. But the children, who are the sexual targets of white women, women and men, and then the white women and white men said to destroy the people of color's family based off of the original model and based off of the original marriage covenant. White women and men who had liberation come down to the untouchables and be like, yo, for a fee. So they make the group that they call untouchables the prostitutes. You go look around the world. The people of color are the untouchables, except when it comes to sex. They untouchable. That word is meant to put you in a financial economic class that can't compete with them because they know they can't compete with you on no level. And the only place in the world where the people who they have called untouchable rise from the untouchable levels and prove that we have dominion is in the United States of America. Nowhere else. In China, you can't rise. In India, you can't rise. In South America, you can't rise. And so all of the untouchable niggas from their nations come here and act like they better than us because they say they ain't black people. Because you ascribe to the slave term that they put in the Constitution. So by technical terms in the courts, the U.S. courts, the Latino is better than you on paper. The Native Indian is better than you on paper. The Asian, the Chinese, the Japanese, they are better than you on paper. That's why they leave their untouchable status in their nation and they come here to the only place in the world where they say, it's the land of the free and the home of the brave. You crazy. Revelation 12 says this land belongs to one bride only. I will send my bride into a place prepared for her by God. So you could try and take our lands, you fighting with God. And we're going to prove it to you. So my sons and daughters, in the darkness, we've been showing. I got my youngest brother is like 35. We've been taking the wealth, $12 trillion a year. If you just take football and basketball, $12 trillion a year you waste. They make $12 trillion a year off of the industries associated with the sports that you do in the United States of America. You generate $12 trillion. And that, listen, $12 trillion is only off 3% of our individuals in the United States of America. It's a limited amount of individuals that could play in the NBA. It's a limited amount of individuals that could play in the NFL. It's a limited amount of individuals that could play football and basketball in the NCAA. So off 3% of our population, they're generating $12 trillion annually. Nike, Adidas, Puma, Polo, Ralph Lauren, Nautica, all of the hip hop was created. Everything associated with hip hop, every fashion, everything. You waste $12 trillion a year. That's a year. So even if half of our population, we don't even need everybody to take ownership and control of your image and your recreation fashion associated and the financials associated with it. We even did 12 trillion. $6 trillion have people. And we don't even want half. We don't even want half of y'all. We just gonna take another 3%. We're gonna take our family members out of the United States of America alone. We don't want all of y'all Greek and Roman athletes. We don't want y'all. We just gonna prove to y'all that we could match their $12 trillion a year. We're gonna create all of the industries that they have created off of sports. We're gonna take 3% of our population. We talk about the hardest, toughest, roughest neighborhoods. We talk about the real men. Y'all niggas on the internet talk about y'all killers. Y'all wouldn't have ever walked down the blocks that we walk down. On every corner, you had a group of individuals slap boxing. Broad daylight, everybody in the neighborhood. And you walk down the block, you're going to get invited to box. And if you turn down the invitation, the whole neighborhood knew you was soft. If you got in the ring, though, and if you have been practicing on your own time and you display some skills and then you created a reputation, y'all niggas go out and create reputations in drive-bys. You cowards, you little coward niggas. You've been programmed. You've been programmed by niggas who want to take your lands. You got white Europeans who supply you the guns, who supply you the drugs, who go into mayor's offices and create projects, create slums by lobbying and paying and bribing politicians to say you can't move in certain places. They create these things called neighborhood. When you try and move into the suburbs, they got something. They got a group of individuals that the whole neighborhood got to report to. This is how they do racism. This is how they prevent you from buying. You got to go through a homeowners association. All the homeowners association is the system of racism that says the untouchable niggas that make the 12 trillion, do not let them escape the poverty. They make sure. And because you scared to walk down the block, you scared to train, you scared to get your hand skills up, you scared to, when a nigga invite you to fight, you scared to stand toe to toe and fight. You scared. That's niggas who resort to guns. Nigga used to invite us to fight, we fight. If a nigga ran up and punched one of us in the face out the blue, that's called knockout. Niggas play knockout for fun. So if a nigga ran and punched it, if a nigga punched me in my face, boom, put me to sleep, niggas would wake up, your family niggas would wake you up like, yo, nigga, how you let that nigga, you got a glass gin. You got a glass jaw, nigga. You let this nigga knock you out? You let that nigga put you to sleep, nigga? You let that nigga put you to sleep, nigga? How you let a nigga put you to sleep, nigga? Niggas had jokes. Full contact means full contact. You know why the people around the world celebrate the people of color in the United States of America? And I ain't talking about you effeminate Greco-Roman athletes. Listen, they had the Greco-Roman athletes. The only superpower in the world comes from what we have done and endured, and how we've come through the flames, tried as pure gold. The whole world, everything that we put on, they imitate. They ain't imitating y'all clowns. Y'all niggas are a perversion. They not imitating y'all. The women of the world, listen, the women of the world are not attracted to perverted whores. I know. We came up in the era of freaknik. And no true man, any of y'all whores that anybody could sleep with at any party or anything, listen, you ain't nothing but that. And when you accept that as the image of womanhood, you was a Roman gladiator. You was a sex slave. You was a sex slave, and you have settled. And y'all parents take pride, and your whole dream is to send your children off to a plantation called the NCAA so they could get a look, instead of partnering with individuals like us. I'm telling y'all, all around the country, they got 32 teams. They got 32 NFL teams. We got 32 locations in hoods all around the United States of America. We're in 2022. We're going to recruit. And in December 1st through December 21st, we're going to have our draft for all of the teams in the 32 locations in the hood around the United States of America. December 1st through December 21st. Football, basketball, track and field. We have in our draft $12 trillion annually. We've done the math, yo. And if you raising your children, you ain't doing the math, and you talking about poverty, and your child is a running back, yo, you a fool. To let them be 18 and 19 and send them off to college, you playing Russian roulette with wealth. Because the odds of them not getting injured, a career ending, listen, how many of y'all have put all of your faith and hope in the NCAA and the NBA and the NFL, and your child got a career ending thing, and then you want to get on them niggas and tell them to find a new career? You an ignorant fool. Whenever you put in 10,000 hours in anything, you are an expert. And only slaves allow somebody to allow them to become an expert in something and not pay them for the 10,000 hours. When you put in 10,000 hours, I counted the hours. I counted the hours that I have put in since I was 6. I have 10,000 hours in four different pro recreation, not only as a player, but as a coach. I got 10,000 hours in as a player and 10,000 hours in as a coach. 4 different areas. I wish anybody in my family would tell my sons, my daughter, me, my wife. I wish anybody would tell me that we don't got the right to $12 trillion annually. You pay doctors. After they finish their training, you pay a doctor, don't you? You pay an attorney, don't you? Tennis players in the United States can go from high, have always been able to go from middle school. If Venus and Serena in middle school was able to beat Martina Navratilova and Chrissy Evans, they could go right to the pros in tennis and become wealthy. Why? Because the number of people of color playing tennis and the highest tournament is the British tournament. That is a European sport. All European sports, they pay. All USA, New Athens, Greece sports, they have created the gladiator plantation slave system, and Black Americans are labeled as the human zoo, or as the animals in the human zoo. So when people come from other countries, they are the professionals and you are the animals, the gladiators in the zoo. You are expendable. Why? Because if you don't play, the quality of the game goes away and they will go extinct. There will be no NFL. And that's what we're about to do. We're about to take all of our people. And when we put the cameras on, real manhood, full contact football, that WWE, World Wrestling Federation, NFL football that you watch with them drag queens. The difference between what we do and full contact, USA, Golden Rules football, and what your sons do today in the NFL, what our sons, nieces, nephews do in full contact basketball. LeBron James came into Atlantic City, New Jersey, in high school, the height of his career. A dude from Brooklyn who moved down to Atlantic City named Lenny Cook, dog walk LeBron James all through high school. The best basketball player. The best basketball player on earth you have never seen. It's always been like that since the 70s. Since David Stern took over the NBA. It's been about marketing. It's been about taking it to the world. Taking the wealth of the NBA and exporting it to the world. Taking the wealth of the NFL to the world. It's a circus. It's a rigged circus. Peyton Manning, there would be no Peyton Manning if he stepped on a football field where there's no referees and full contact. You all know the NFL of the 70s and the 80s. It was all black quarterbacks. Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, Doug Williams. They wanted to make the face of the NFL like the face of the NBA. White. Jerry West is the face of the NBA? You crazy? Jerry West? They named 20 niggas. Jerry West can't even lace up the shoes of 20 niggas. Jerry White, LA Laker Jerry West? The NBA said, yo, the NFL said, yo, these niggas got helmets on anyway. The best way to market the NFL to the world is to put a European face on it. Aryan white supremacy. How he gonna do that when the most recognizable position on the field is all of these individuals from the inner city who play full contact and could take the hits? See, at the NFL at that time, the referees was just like having no referees. It was full contact in the 70s and the 80s. White boys wasn't fast enough. White boys was not agile enough. Did they have some white boys that was in the league, Joe Namath and them? Yeah, they were. Because the league was all white. For the 70s and 80s, and the league, listen, they had another league in Canada. But because Canada didn't have the inner city niggas, the CFL died. The NFL was going to die with its all-white, fake, athletic niggas, and we were still playing football all around the country. The NFL, they celebrate that they integrated the NFL. Y'all fools. They knew that niggas was going to monetize, niggas was going to see the quality in the hood, and they integrated the NFL, baseball. Y'all celebrate Jackie Robinson. Nigga, y'all fools. Jackie Robinson sold y'all niggas out. We had our own baseball league. But because the fathers in the United States of America have been slaves, instead of monetizing the black baseball league that was better than the Major League Baseball League, and they saw the quality of the Major League, listen, all of the white Major League Baseball niggas was on steroids. Babe Ruth, steroids. They talk about here, home run king. The nigga died early because the steroid nigga. And we supernaturally, no steroids, none of they white trainers, nothing. So when you see our people hitting the ball as far as when they come to the black baseball league and they see what we was doing, niggas stealing bases, niggas hitting home runs, niggas pitching faster. They like, yo, if the people start going and watching their games, they will never come to the Major League Baseball. That's why they integrated baseball. That's why Jim Brown and all them niggas sold y'all out. And so just like with hip hop, we created hip hop. They created a rap industry to imitate what we did. So now when we monetize hip hop, we monetize full contact football, we monetize full contact basketball, we monetize no referees. Referee can't save you in football. Only your heart. Full contact. None of these boxing league. Listen, nobody else can get in the ring. Since none of y'all niggas was getting in the ring on our blocks, only the people who roam the blocks where we came from can get in this ring and get this money. Only the people who suffered the oppression can get in this ring. Only the people. We got plenty of people from Jamaica who done came to our hoods and became one with our hoods and ran with us. We got plenty of people from Puerto Rico who came from their island and came in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We got plenty of people from Panama. But all of this Latin pride, all of this Dominican pride where y'all feel y'all better than, okay, can't none of y'all niggas get no money. Can't none of y'all, these niggas is double dipping and y'all letting niggas double dip. Ain't nobody coming here getting money out of here and sending it back home to your father. If you want to help your family, go back home and take control of the lands that you call home. You don't get to come here in the economy that we made supernatural and superpower. And you ain't got to sit in power enough to save your grand. You're gonna leave your grandma in poverty in South America or wherever y'all come from, and you're gonna come here and brag about wealth that you nigga. Y'all, all of y'all come here and y'all connect with the government handouts that they give y'all when y'all come here. All of y'all come here and check European boxes to put yourselves above the ancestors from Jamaica and Haiti and Puerto Rico and Panama that came here and moved into our neighborhoods in the 70s, 80s, 90s testifies against y'all new age Puerto Rican, y'all new age Dominican, y'all new age Panamanian. Our people came to our blocks. Everything we did, everything we endured, they endured. They ain't check a different European box. Everything we fought through, they fought through. So if you want to fly a flag, you want to march in parades, you want to celebrate your island, go on back to it. And the only people that's going to transform Haiti, the only people that's going to transform Jamaica, the only people that's going to transform Puerto Rico, the only people that's going to get a wealth back to Barbados, going to get a wealth back to Trinidad, going to get a wealth back to Panama, going to get a wealth back to all of the places where our mothers, our lionesses came, is us. All y'all cowards running, trying to come check European boxes. You're going to get crushed here and in our lionesses' land. We coming to take it all. We coming to take it all. All of y'all cowards are refugees. A refugee. The word of God calls you restless vagabond. You're a restless wanderer. You can't have real estate when you a refugee. God says you ain't his if you don't stand still in the land that he gave to your ancestors. Where you was born at, it's called the birthright for a reason. It's called the birthright for a reason. When you leave the lands where you born at, and you come here and you try and claim something, nigga, you gotta pass through customs. And a European vagabond can't put you at the front of the line. Your immigration and naturalization is meaningless. Your constitution can't give you civil rights over our birthright. And can't nobody tell our story. Can't nobody tell you that somebody else is here. And while the cameras is on, we're gonna test everybody's birthright. While the cameras is on, while the internet, while the whole world is connected, we're gonna test everybody's chin. We testing everybody's birthright. You can't fake if you was been standing with us or not. You can't fake checking the European box and living a European handout lie. A government subsidized European handout lie. All of the European peasants came and checked that box. All of the European peasants came. The only individual. We got ancestors on. God said, I have sheep of many fold. We had ancestors on every island, on every patch of land. So when our ancestors come here, they do the same thing that we do. Only individuals who sign up to be to be plantation managers, overseers. People from around the world are coming to the United States of America to be overseers over the group that in the Constitution, German, European founding fathers said was 3/5 of the human being. People from around the world come to the USA to be overseers. And God, in the word of God, calls that the battle of Armageddon. Every nation, kindred, tongue, and people that was scattered at the Tower of Babel are Babylonian nation. There was one group that God allowed to live in the lands when he scattered all of the other Babylonians. And the Babylonians have come back after being scattered all over the world. And they've created the European Union and the United Nations in Europe and America. And once again, it's the whole world Babylonians in union. Understand, on every island, on every patch of land, we have put down our root. In Jamaica, in Haiti, in Puerto Rico, the same ancestors that owned the lands before the Europeans got there, owned those lands before the Europeans got there. But because you have a majority of people in all of those lands that prop up the European colony in the island, and because nobody has ever told the story of our root people, nobody has ever shined the light on our root people, we're going back to every patch of land in the world, and we're going to show you our people who was there first before a European invasion came. And we're going to give them back their heritage in their land, just like we giving back our children their inheritance in the United States of America. And once we finish all over the world, you're going to see the plagues of Egypt. You're going to see the final judgment, the final reward for the wicked. Once we finish sealing all of our family members who've been faithful all over the world, you're going to see the same thing you saw happen to the Pharaoh, to all of these sun god worshipers, Egyptians, and all of these fake Babylonian mystery religion disguises and impersonations of righteousness all over the world. See judgment, reward.